Okay, so this is how you're going to put together your downloads. You've got, this is called your card front page. You're going to print 3 of these. It's got some very faint lines. Those are your cutting lines. You're going to print 3 of those, and then you need card to back it with. Now I'm using watercolor paper, and mine is 300 GSM, so it's fairly thick. I'll show you. It's, you know, fairly sturdy. You can use craft paper. Now this is red, and I've said white, you know, but just to show you, you can buy this in craft stores. It's regular activity card, but this is 180 GSM, and that's reasonably thick. It would do if you haven't got anything like more, but don't use less than 180. That would be okay, I think, by the time you've backed it with the other card. That would be okay. So, where do you start? We're going to cut this first, I think. So here I've got a cutting mat, a craft knife and a ruler, but you can use scissors. You are going to just cut out the pattern piece here. Now don't throw that scrap away. I've a use for this edge that we're about to cut off here. Right, save that bit for a minute. The other pieces can go into the bin. Now, you can get rid of that cutting mat for now. Take our card. This is going to lay on top. Right, so this is how we're going to start this. You can see the difference between those two colours, I hope. Using the famous Mod Podge, what you're going to do is using a fairly wide brush. You're going to go across maybe the top third of it, making sure that it's all covered. So just go about that far down. You don't want it so thick that it's going to squash out, but you want it nicely coated. Now take this, lay it carefully on your sheet, straightish, and then take an old credit card, Tesco's club card, works very well for this, and you're going to scrape it along so that you take out all the air bubbles. You don't want air bubbles, because once you cut it, it'll separate your sheets. If you've got a corner that's not properly stuck down, just go back in with your brush. Now, lift that up, go right up to the top, you don't want lumps of it, just make sure it's nicely covered. So that's kind of the next third, and again you're going in with your club card, your credit card, whatever you've got lying around. And then the last part, make sure you go right up to where you finish the last lot. If it gets on top, it doesn't matter at all. All right, that should be okay. And again, I can see here, if you turn it to the light, there's a tiny bubble there, so we're just going to drag that to the side. Now that's fairly flat. Okay, while that's drying, stick this brush. It will harden very quickly, so stick it into a jar of water and just have some paper towel ready to dry it up again. If you leave it on your desk, it will just go completely solid and be useless to you. All right, you've also got in your downloads your sheets of affirmations and your sheets of prompts. Now with my affirmations, I like to tear them. You can cut them with scissors if you prefer. I like kind of the rough look of them. I just tear them, so I'm going to randomly tear that. This is our first one. Ooh, this is a good one. I love and accept myself exactly as I am. That could bring up some real triggers in people. And if it does, all the better to journal on. All right, so you see the way I'm tearing it towards myself. If you tear it away from yourself, it rips differently. Do you see? You end up with extra underneath paper. So tear it towards yourself if you want to make them scruffy looking. And we're going to that is that. So you can spend a few minutes while the first page is drying. Spend a few minutes cutting out your affirmations. When I was printing this, these sheets, your standard printer paper that you use is 80 GSM. This one I have is actually 120, no, 120? Yeah, 120. So it's a bit thicker, which makes it easier to tear. This I printed out on regular 80 GSM, and this doesn't tear very well, so I would advise just using scissors to cut these out. You can print the quotes on this paper, but if you do, you might be better off to cut, because when you tear it, you can't control it as well, and you can take the tops of your words off like I've just done. And this is okay too. What habits help you feel your best? Right, I think this is dry now, so we can move these to the side. And this is ready for cutting. So again, I'm going to use my craft knife. I'm such a messy crafter already. I lost my knife because it's under the paper. Right, so you're going to trim along the edges of the coloured piece. Alright, so that's... Actually, do you know when I said to keep this piece that we cut off? Ignore that. It's the heavier card. You just need to keep one piece of this. And then line up your cutting lines. Cut through this. Again, you can do this with scissors. It doesn't matter if they're not perfect. They're your cards, and you'll know the effort that went into them. So each little mistake makes them unique. If you feel that those lines are too fine for you to see, if they're too, this line, if you feel that that's not heavy enough for you to be able to follow, before you cut it, just go over it with a black biro. Make it a dark line so that you can cut it easier for yourself. Okay, so that's 1, 2. I'm just showing you with one piece here, but you are going to make 3 sheets, which is going to give you 18 cards. So it's best not to rush. You could do this on one day. Just get this far on one day. Maybe spend another day cutting out your affirmations and your prompts. And then when you're ready, you can put them all together. Now, this piece of card that we saved, what I would like you to do with this, this is not necessary. This is just what I did with mine. Do you see my cards that I made? They've got rounded corners. Keep them square if you like them square, but if you don't... Okay, so taking something round, you're going to draw around, you know, sort of, this sort of thing. this gives you a template. If you cut out that line, and then you line the side of this sheet up with and the top here, and then you draw around this. Okay, that gives you that corner. You turn it to the side, do the same thing, and keep going around until you've all four done, and then you just snip this with your scissors, and then all of your cards will have exactly the same angle if you want rounded edges, which I probably do. So that's another job that will take time. Snipping them off to make a nice, you know, if you like that, if you like the right angle corners, leave them be. When you've made all 18 of your cards, which as I say could take a few days, you don't have to do it all in one go. It's up to you now, when you've cut all these out and you've got your prompts on the back, to put them together. Now this is the bit where you can really take your time. I would suggest sitting down at your space, wherever that may be. It could be the kitchen table, it could be a desk, it could be, you know, a tray on the end of your bed. It doesn't matter where it is. Maybe light a candle, maybe have some flowers in a vase, make a cup of tea, cup of coffee. Just get yourself nice and comfortable and relaxed. Have maybe a cushion or a blanket on your chair. This is going to be some self-care time. Making these is self-care time. Alright, so I'm using this. It's called Distress Ink. You can get it in craft shops. It's not necessary. It's just I like to put a little bit of colour around the edge. You could do the same thing with a coloured pencil. Just colour around the edges. Choosing which affirmation you're going to put with which prompt takes a little bit of time. Okay, so I love and accept myself exactly as I am. Do I? Are there things I'd like to change? Possibly. So that's what it's going to look like. We're going back to the famous Mod Podge now. Just dry your brush. Get some Mod Podge. Just going to paint this on here. Stick it down and then go over the top. Okay, that's the front. Okay, so now that's just going to dry for a few minutes. So I'm going to turn it over and take your prompt. So my prompt that I've chosen for this one is, what habits make you feel your best? I'm just going to put that on diagonally so that it doesn't need to be torn up. And again, go over the top. Now this is the side that you get to decorate. When that's dry, you can go in and decorate this anytime you please, or anyhow you please. You don't even have to if you want. You can leave it this way. And that is how you're going to make your own deck of cards to help you with your art journaling. You're going to end up with 18 of them. Give them a good shuffle in the mornings. Pick one out, and that's going to be your journal prompt for the day.